Ladies and boudoir photographers. Andy here, author of the best Tinder guide on the internet and guy who puts the boo in boudoir. This is the Kill You and the Loser show. Let's fucking go. I'm joined by my girlfriend, this one here.
Hi.
And one of the guys on my forums asked about how we do photography, nude photography and boudoir photography and artsy, naked, naughty BDSM photos with girls. And so I thought we would sit down and have a little chat about how we find some of these girls, how we see if they're into photography, what the process of actually shooting with them looks like, and all that sort of stuff. So I will show a couple of photos on screen. Now, these are, I can only really show non-nude photos, obviously, because we're on YouTube. And so most of our photos are actually nude. So we were going through and we couldn't find any where there is...
Yeah, it actually ruled out quite a lot.
Yeah, it was really hard to find some. So here's one we did. You know, that's you holding a leash with one of the girls that we saw. This one, look at this fancy artwork in the bathtub with some milk and some flowers. That one was a hell of a lot of fun to do. I really liked doing that. And look, YouTube, you can't censor me because I censored the nipples.
You copied the flowers and pasted them over my nipple.
Yep. We did this with one of the girls that we saw a while ago. Yeah, so this is the kind of photos that we're talking about. Like, but imagine these nude, and we do like actual, more sexual, like almost pornographic photos and videos as well. And we do like pornographic ones as well. So we range from like artsy non-nudes like this, and you can put these kind of ones on Instagram, all the way to extremely hardcore pornographic, you know, stuff. And we have a lot of fun with that stuff. So this guy is basically, or a guy in my forums was basically asking questions about like how we find the girls, how we see if they're into it, how do we sort of, you know, be upfront and honest about it without pushing them too much. So we'll go through and we'll answer some of these questions. And so I think we'll start with what we message them with. So how we actually find, because we at this point in time, earlier on, we weren't really screening for girls who wanted to do a photo shoot or be in our photos. It was more just like...
It was like an afterthought.
Yeah, it was like we'd sleep with them a couple of times and then we'd sort of say, do you want to do some photos, by the way? And if they said yes, great. If they said no, you know, that was completely fine. At this point, we screened pretty hard for it.
Yeah, you've said multiple times that you're not that keen on seeing someone unless they've like got something else like really great going for them.
Yeah.
You're not that keen on seeing a girl that's like pretty adamant, like, no, I don't want to do any photos.
Yeah, photos, like us doing photos with girls at this point in time, or videos, is pretty much high. It's one of the highest on the priority list. Obviously, they have to be bisexual and into threesomes and want to sleep with you and me and into BDSM. But photos are pretty high up on the list. So what we're doing right now, let me pull this up on screen. This is the template that you're using on your Tinder and Hinge. So, you know, I'll leave it on the screen. Pause the video if you want to quickly read it, but we'll sort of just go through it. Can I zoom in? No, I can't. I can't comfortably zoom in, whatever. So, you know, you just basically copy paste this to girls that you match with. You know, your first message is, hey, I'm Imi. You know, you're cute. I'm looking for something specific on here. And they'll say, what's that? And then you copy paste this message. And so, you know, my man and I, his name is Andy, enjoy playing with and mentoring girls, particularly teaching them BDSM and shibari. And shibari is just like rope bondage, like tying a girl up. Helping them explore themselves in the bedroom, as well as helping you grow into a more confident and capable person in life. There's me with the mentoring shit.
You can't help it. Yeah, that's...
I always mentor everyone, yeah. Not if they don't want mentoring, but yeah, if they want it, I mentor. We also help girls shoot photography/videos if you're into that. And then in brackets, I have for their spicy content, which is a polite way of saying OnlyFans. So if you write OnlyFans on Tinder or Bumble or Hinge, you will just get immediately.
Even like OF seems to not do very well.
Yeah, if you write the phrase OF. So this is us hinting at that. So at this point, you can kind of see we're kind of screening pretty hard for, or at least opening the door for any girls who do OnlyFans content at this point in time, because those girls tend to be very sexually open and very, very comfortable doing photos and videos, because obviously...
they get to use it as content.
Yeah, so they get to use it on their OnlyFans, and we get to use it on my website, or we just have a bit of fun doing the photos and stuff like that. So, you know, we're kind of screening for this. You know, so we're going to say, have you experienced a threesome BDSM dynamic, or is it something you would like to explore? And the template that I'm using on my Tinder and Hinge is pretty similar to this. It's basically exactly the same as this. We have used shorter versions than this. This is a pretty long template.
Very long,
yeah. You know, in the past, the one we were using just said, you know, my man and I, his name is Andy, enjoy playing with and mentoring girls, teaching them BDSM, is that something you'd like to explore? It was super short. So you don't have to use this big, long template, but this is the template that we are using right now. So we will copy paste that to them. If they do OnlyFans, like if they say, yeah, I actually do shoot OnlyFans, those girls are the easiest to do photos with, because they're like, yes, I would love to do photos with you. Are you kidding me? I'd love to do videos. As long as I can use it on my OnlyFans, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. They'll literally say, you can put it on your website, do whatever you want. Like, most of those girls...
To be fair, some have like rule, like they prefer it being behind a paywall, but for the most part,
but for the most part, they're happy for us to use it as well. So, if you're someone that wants to do something like this, and the entire point of this video here today is, if you're thinking like, I would like to do some photos with girls, like I love the idea of doing some nude photos or some artsy ones, or maybe some full-on, pornography together, those are the easiest girls to do that with. If you can screen, and again, don't just say, do you do OnlyFans? Because...
that probably won't go down very well.
It's not that it won't go down well. Your account will get deleted within 5 hours. Like, every time we've tried that, you get deleted immediately.
But I also I am aware that it is something that some people take offense to. Like, being I think some girls have the connotation.
You wouldn't phrase it like that, sure. I misspoke.
Sure.
Don't say to girls, like, do you do OnlyFans? And this, if you have a look at what we've written in the actual template, we don't say that either. We say, we also help girls shoot photography, for their spicy content, if you're into that. So we don't say, like, do you do OnlyFans?
Yeah. Because I think some girls will take that as being called a whore, basically.
Yeah, they'll get offended at that, sure. So screening for girls who do OnlyFans content or something like that, or even just girls who have a lot of photos on the Instagram, they're often very open to doing sort of artsy nude photos with you, or full-on pornographic photos with you and videos. So those girls. But even if you find some girls who don't do OnlyFans, what we will then do next is once we get their phone number, we will send them our portfolio of BDSM and nude photos. So we have a nice pretty little website, and we've got all our stuff on there, and we say, here you go, here's our little portfolio website. It looks all pretty. It's like a photography page. And if they say, which most of them do, if they say like, oh my God, these photos are amazing, the next thing we say is being in photos something that you would like to explore? Or is this something you'd like to try? Or would you like to explore that part of yourself? Some of them say at that point, I would love to do that, but I'm worried about my job.
Yeah.
Or I'm worried about other people finding out. So then we say, would you like to do it if you don't show your face? Like, you don't have to show your face. Some of the girls at that point are like, oh, hell yes. Like, I'd love to do that, as long as I don't show my face.
Because at that point, you've kind of removed all of the risk, and it becomes a self-exploration sort of thing.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, people, like girls especially, like feeling pretty and like getting dressed up, and for the most part being like the center of attention. It feels nice. Yeah,
maybe we didn't make that clear at the start of the podcast, but you're not just getting girls to be in your photos. You're seeing which girls want to be in your photos. So it's not about like, oh, how can I get girls to be in my photos with me? It's like, no. Go find the girls who, for them, this is a fantasy. There are a lot of women that this is a fucking fantasy for.
Yeah. And to be fair, like with my personal trainer, I have like a bikini shoot, and she organizes like 2 a year, and I like going to those. And it's a group of girls, and people are paying quite a bit of money for a professional photographer to take these photos.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of girls, especially when they're younger, I guess, want to capture that.
Yeah, they want to feel pretty. They want to feel like the center of attention. And how many women have we gone through this process with, where we screen for photo shoots? I've had so many now that say to either me or you, they say, do you want me to pay you for being for being in your photos? And you're like, no, sweetie, like, no. That's very sweet of you, but no. Yeah. So some women fantasize about it so much that they're like, oh, I should be paying you, the photographer, right? And you're like, no, we're doing this for fun. So, and for a lot of you can charge for it if you want to, but that's up to you guys to explore if you want to do that. You could make money from this stuff for sure.
Yeah.
We just don't really want to.
Yeah, keeping in mind that if you kind of sell it as a professional service, some women might literally just want to be a model and not want to have sex.
Sex with you.
And so if that's then your intention, I'd obviously be careful with that.
Yeah, but feel free to have fun with this stuff, and make some money if you want to. But yeah, so and then I'll make it clear, if any girls at that point when we say, do you want to be in photos or do you want to do some videos or whatever, if they're on the fence about it, absolutely, that's a fucking no. Like, don't. I mean, I feel like it goes without saying, and you guys are pretty great. Don't push a girl to do something she doesn't want to do. I feel like that goes without saying, but even more on that. If you do push a girl, and if she's on the fence and you kind of talk her into it, maybe pushing is a strong word, but you talk her into it, what can often happen is later on down the track, she'll decide, I don't really feel good about that. Can you please delete all the pictures and the videos that you took?
Yeah,
and then
especially if you stop seeing each other.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be like, can you please just delete everything at me?
Yeah. And then it's like, well, why did I bother doing that? We've had a couple of girls ask us, and not girls that we pushed. These were girls who literally did OnlyFans. You guys, quite a few of you have actually asked me, what happened to that podcast that you did where you had 2 OnlyFans girls on your podcast? It was like a foursome. You guys had we had a foursome, and we recorded a podcast. Later down the track, like maybe 6 months later, one of the girls, quit her OnlyFans, and she said, hey, would you please delete all the content that you've had of me? And so even sometimes when a girl is super into the idea of this, sometimes it can happen that they ask you to delete all this stuff, and obviously just delete it all. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's another reason why I would say don't push girls to do this, because that's way more likely to happen. Plus, pushing people to do something they're on the fence about is not, it's not going to make you feel good. You're not going to be happy that you got a photo shoot out of a girl who didn't really want to do it. Yeah,
it's just like sex. At the end of the day, you want to be sharing experiences with people that are really into it and having a great time and are telling you like how excited they are and how much fun it is. Like, how nice has it been that when we've done shoots with girls, they tell you how much fun it is and that they're grateful and they had such a good time, and they look at the photos and like, oh wow, like that looks so cool. That's so much nicer than somebody that's kind of, I would imagine it would be like having someone that's dragging their heels and not really wanting to be there.
And at the end of the day, you're going to get better photos and she's going to have a better time if you both want to actually be there. My favorite saying that I say to people, to girls that we sleep with, is I say, this is only fun if you're having fun. And so if someone is on the fence, well, that's not really that fun, is it? Because you're knowing that she doesn't really want to do this, or she might want to do this, but she's like hesitant. It feels like she has to hold back, and it feels like you're not getting the experience that you want, which is a girl who's completely into this, completely fucking dirty, and just like really committed to doing it. And she's really dirty. She's not holding back. She's just open. She's passionate. She's having fun, and she doesn't feel like, oh man, I'm nervous. Right? They're all going to be nervous, but like, you guys get what I mean. So it's much more fun with a girl who's super into it. So one of the guys on my forums, the guy that started this whole discussion, his name is B-Man, or his username is B-Man, and he said...
This makes me think if we watch this like YouTube channel of this guy who's like a humane bee removalist. And I think every time that you've like mentioned the name B-Man to me, that's the only thing I think about of like the humane bee removal YouTube channel.
You're talking about like JP the Bee-Man?
Yeah, it's like the Yappy Bee-Man or something, isn't it?
There's 2 of them. Yeah, we watch a lot of like random YouTube channels, and one of the channels that we're obsessed with is this like we've got like several like bee channels. If you guys have never watched like
humane bee removal
channels, like look at this boy, look at my man over here. I'm gonna put him on the screen. Here's my man. Here's my boy. JP the Bee-Man. JP the Bee-Man. Look at this fucking boy over here. Yeah, we got slow ass internet here in Australia, boys and girls. Look at this fucking bee removal. So if you guys have never watched any bee channel shit, go and watch that. Anyway, come on. We're getting off topic here. Let's talk about sexual intercourse and not bee sexual intercourse.
Okay.
So B-Man says, what ways have you asked girls to do photo shoots? So like I said, just the way that we do. We show them our photos and then basically say, is that something you'd like to try? So this stuff, as in doing photos and, videos and stuff with women, it gets way easier when you have a nice little portfolio. And it's better if that's online, like we have a nice little pretty website. But even if you don't have a website, if you just have a couple of photos, like some nice artsy or BDSM or some, artistic nude photos on your phone that you've done with other girls, and obviously ask the women, are you happy for me to like you're happy
put them somewhere? Yeah,
you're happy like these aren't just private photos.
Yeah, because we have to make that distinction, we have seen I think there was one girl in particular who we like did this shoot with, and then we hadn't asked her if she was comfortable us putting the photos anywhere, and she said no. And
we rephrase that, Missy, because that's going to be taken out of context. We did ask her if she's comfortable having the photos put elsewhere, but we asked her after the photo shoot. So I did the photo shoot, and then I said, so you're cool with me sharing these photos, right? And she was like, no. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes, I should have asked before. So that was a learning lesson, and from that point, we always asked first, like, do you want to be in a photo shoot? Yes. Are you okay with me putting them on my website or showing them to other people or, sending them to my friends, or can they go on the forums? Or where, like, are you comfortable with them going elsewhere? Because you're right. Some girls it's rare, but some girls will say, I'd love to be in a photo shoot. Okay, can I share these photos with other people? Fuck no. And you're like,
yeah,
okay,
I can see a lot of girls, like, because it's nice to have it like almost for personal use. It's like, oh, look, I feel pretty, but there's the discomfort with it going anywhere. So
yeah, so ask first. So it's point is, it's way easier to do this stuff if you already have some other photos. And if you don't have any other photos, that's fine. Like, obviously, at some point, you have to start from scratch, right? You don't have any photos. So it does get easier the more you do, because you can show them, hey, look at these other photos I've done. And they go, oh, wow, that's amazing. And so when you do these photos, obviously do whatever photos you want, but I would at least have a handful of very artistic, like artsy kind of ones. Mm-hmm. And again, if you look at the, photos that we've done, like, come on, that's artsy. Yeah. That's very artsy. And even that's pretty fucking
necessarily
artsy.
Looking at it and thinking that it's crass.
Yeah. So I would shoot for more like artsy style photos, just at least a couple of them. So then it's easier to, show other girls like, hey, I'm not just snapping random photos with my phone. These are like artsy. Because at the end of the day, there's two reasons that you're doing this, right? You're partly doing this because it's fun and it feels good for you and you like being a photographer and you like making women feel good and all that kind of stuff. But the second reason is that you want the girls to feel good. You want them to feel pretty. You want them to feel sexy. You want them to feel like the center of attention. You want them to do something that they haven't done. Like, most girls don't get to do a fucking photo shoot, right? They don't get to be the center of attention, especially not like a boudoir or a nude or a BDSM or a sexual photo shoot.
Yeah.
And so, you want them to feel very good about the whole experience. You want it to be artsy and tasteful. And yeah, you can do full-on pornographic as well. Like, that stuff is fun too. But they're going to feel it's a lot more exciting to them if you say, I can make you feel good. Look, you'll get to feel pretty like this. You'll get to feel like a part of an artsy photo. And you don't have to be great with photography. You can just improve over time the more you practice. But that's much more appealing than you saying to a woman, hey, can I take some nudes of you? And it's not that they won't say yes to that, but it's much more appealing if it is like fancy or some
It feels
artsy.
classy, yeah.
Yeah, classy is a good word. And you can still do pornographic. We do. Yeah.
And I guess the other, because we've mentioned that we, generally speaking, find girls through usually my Tinder, but sometimes yours as well. Mm. But I guess the other way is also through Instagram. Like, you have an Instagram and you upload some of these like more safe photos.
Yeah, we've met a couple of girls through Instagram. Some through... we haven't met any through FetLife. I'm trying to think where else we've met. Yeah, let's just say Instagram for now. That's the other place that's not a dating app. And yeah, so I put some of these photos, the artsy ones, on my Instagram. Actually, let's have a look. What is on my Instagram?
I don't think you've added to that in a long time.
I haven't uploaded anything in a freaking long time, so we can all sort of figure it out together and have a look together. But you guys can set up an Instagram, and obviously you can only upload artsy photos,
yeah, because like anything explicit will get removed. But I guess the positive thing about
here you go. So here's what's on my
Instagram is it can basically be used like your portfolio as well.
Yeah, so you can use this as a portfolio. They just can't be nude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got like some BDSM ones there, the bathtub one, little bits and pieces. Look at my beautiful America photo. That's not going to get expanded on here, is it? Yeah, fuck off Instagram. But yeah, I think most of these are just going to be artsy. Like, I don't think they're necessarily... Lots of them aren't even sexual.
Yeah.
They're just artsy. I don't actually have much on there, surprisingly. Our main website has much more on there. But, yeah, you guys can set up an Instagram and upload some stuff on there. And then you can show that to girls. And then it's much more appealing. And again, ask them before you do the photo shoot, are you cool with me putting these photos on my Instagram? Like you've seen the other ones that I've put up there. And save yourself. Because, yeah, like I said, we did have that one girl that we did the photo shoot. Yo, so you're cool with these going online, right? No. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes, it wasn't a waste, you know what I mean? But part of the reason that we like doing the photos and the videos is to put them out there. Like, that's part of the artistic process, at least for us. And so if we were to just take the photos and no one ever sees them, for me, it's like, why did I put all this effort into like making this creative artsy thing? Because, I put a lot of effort in. I Photoshop some of them. The lighting, we make sure you look good. Laundry.
Yeah, it's very similar to like if you paint a painting. Generally speaking, you want to show it to people.
Yeah, and some of you might not. You might just want to do some artsy photos for you and for the girl that you're seeing. Great, that's fun. The process of doing the actual photo shoot is very fun, and that was what, another one of these guys' questions was basically like, what does the photo shoot look like? He said, what's a typical day doing a shoot look like for you, since you also sleep with these girls? So, and we do. We like to be clear, we don't do any photo shoots with girls that we're not sleeping with. That's something you guys can do, by the way. Like, keep that in mind. You don't have to sleep with all these girls. You can just do photos. So you can go on Instagram and find models that want to do this kind of photography with you, and you don't sleep with them. There's a ton of people doing that. Just be very clear about what you want for you and for her. Like, don't get halfway into the shoot and they go, oh, fuck, man, I'm really horny. I want to fuck this girl. It's like, come on, be a little bit more professional. Like, it's not that I'm telling you guys what to do. You can do whatever you want to do, but I think it's better for you and the girl if you both have clear boundaries of what you want, so you're not getting halfway through going like, oh fuck, like how can I fuck her? And it's like, mate, come on, like you're in the middle of a photo shoot. So be clear about that. As for what the typical day looks like for us, since we sleep with all the girls, so what we've experimented with different things. Like sometimes we've done the photo shoot first and then slept with them later. And what we've found is everyone's more nervous and awkward if we haven't had sex first.
It feels a lot more contrived if you're going to just jump straight into...
Like, show me your butthole. Show me your fucking, get there naked. Like, it feels, at least for us, it doesn't feel like all three of us can fully relax if we haven't had sex first. Yeah,
and it feels a lot less, like, flowy. Like, things don't just, like, flow and it's not...
Well, because you don't know each other.
Yeah, and there's like that tentative energy. So it's so much nicer to then like to go into the bedroom first, explore, get to know each other, relax a bit, and then go and shoot some photos. And then I think what we like doing is kind of sometimes shooting for a bit and then having sex and then shooting for a bit. So like a lot of it ends up being, because we shoot a lot of our photos in the lounge room, like having sex for a bit and then shooting some photos and then having sex and then shooting photos.
Yeah.
I kind of like when we have those like big days where we'll...
Me too. Like we'll do that for hours, like 4 hours. We might be having sex and taking a break and doing photos, then sex, then photos, then sex. And then
go have some lunch and then come back. And that sort of stuff.
So that's what it looks like for us, for sure. Now, sometimes like when we see certain girls, like the most recent girl, the girl that starts with Z, there's literally that narrows it down to so little.
Who do we see most recently?
With 3, okay. Well,
sorry, got it. Yeah.
And so, actually, it shouldn't have even said that because there's so few girls that start with Z. So, like, but whatever. The last time we saw her, sometimes this will happen. You're all just like so fucking horny and shit that you just get straight into sex, and it's almost not even a photo shoot. It's just like a pornography, like, let me just film me fucking you, and that can be fun too sometimes. So yeah, you'll basically just feel the energy and stuff like that. But I think we I like both, but I do really enjoy the artsy side of things, of like I will come up with a couple of photo shoot concepts, like really conceptual, like well thought out ideas that sort of tell a story in the photo. I'll get lots of props and have the lighting perfect and the camera angle is perfect, and I'll line everything up, and we'll put a lot of effort into this photo. I really like that. So it's more like artsy. And again, we have a ton of these. I just can't show them on YouTube. And I'm not even really prepared to show them with like bits blanked out and stuff. I'd rather just not do that. So, you guys can see them on my website, obviously. So another question this guy asks is, how many girls are open to shooting versus not? It's hard to know because we screen so hard.
And also because we look for multiple things at once, if that makes sense. Like, it's not just photos, because if we were only looking for that, maybe we would bring in more people, if that makes sense. It's photos, BDSM, fussy, sleeping with us. Like, it ends up being a lot of things. So it's hard to tell why some girls
would say no,
do or do not stay.
Yeah, but how many girls are open? Okay, so I guess I can answer for when I was by myself and I was doing this stuff. I would say 50% of girls are open to it. I'd say 50%. Now, bearing in mind, that's with me as a photographer who does very artsy photos.
And has like a clearly professional looking portfolio.
Yep, and camera setup and lighting. And I get to say, you're going to feel like the center of attention. Like, have you ever done a photo shoot before? It's not just like, yo, can I take some photos of you? It's like, do you want to do a photo shoot? Like, I'm a professional photographer. Would you like to do a professional photo shoot? So that obviously means that more girls will say yes, but at this point, I'm going to say maybe 50% of girls say yes to me. It might be a little more than that, but it's about that. But remember, like everything else, it's a numbers game, right? Like, if you're trying to find a girl that really wants to, do a photo shoot with you, you can't expect every girl. And this guy doesn't. This guy absolutely understands concepts like that. But, for those of you who don't, this isn't about making one, like, how do I get a girl to do photos with me? It's like, you can't get anyone to do anything with you. They either want to or they don't. So you just honestly say what you want. You say, hey, do you want to do a photo shoot with me? Here's what I'm looking for. And you find the people that want that thing, and you guys click together and you gel together and you go and have a great time. You do a photo shoot, you have sex. It's wonderful. But it's not so much about, and this guy is not asking that question, but it's not so much about like, how do I get girls to do photo shoots with me? It's like, you can't get them to do photo shoots. All you do is ask them, do you want to do a photo shoot? Yes or no? So, and this guy goes on to say that he's into photography, and he's done a couple of like artsy, I don't know if he's done nude. He says boudoir. And if you guys don't know what boudoir is, it basically just means like bedroom photography, like lingerie. Sometimes it's nude. Yeah. But it basically means that. So he's done a couple, but he wasn't sleeping with them after the shoot. Okay, so he's done bits and pieces then. He just hasn't had sex with them. So something he'd like to start doing in the future is to have sex with them. Yeah, so just follow the template that we put on there. Edit it in your own words, but all you're essentially doing is saying, you know, and here's a good wording for it. And remember, guys, that like wording doesn't have to be perfect with any of this stuff. Like, let's make that really fucking clear. But let me pull it up here. Have we got it? There we go. With the wording, you know, where I say here, yeah, if being the center of attention is something that you're into, we can help you explore that too. I kind of like that wording and phrasing it like that to girls, rather than just saying like, do you want to do a photo shoot with me? You know, you can say, would you like to do a photo shoot? Like, because I love making girls feel like they're the center of attention. Yeah,
at the end of the day, we're all selfish creatures, and you want it to be for their benefit. It's not them doing you a favor.
Yeah, you're doing this for her as much as for you. Because
if you ask it as if she's doing you a favor, she's very unlikely to say yes if she thinks that she's doing something for you rather than she is getting something out of it. And obviously you want it to be this like fun time where you both have a great time and you both get something out of it. But obviously when you're offering it to somebody else, you want to make it sound as appealing as possible, because it's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And this is something I talk about all the time, guys. I talk all the time about giving value, right? You know, in dating, I've said, leave girls better than you found them. In business, I say, the number one business tip I can give you is give as much value as you can. Help as many people as you can. Give as much as you can to them. You know, you guys only watch this channel because I give you as much as I possibly fucking can, right? And so the same thing applies to your sex life or your dating life. If you give as much as you possibly can, guess what? Women are going to want to fucking hang around you. If you say, yo, hey, I can offer you the value of a photo shoot, making you feel like the center of attention. I'll make you feel sexy. I'll make you feel pretty. It'll be hot as hell. I get a lot out of it because it's fun too, but you'll feel great. Like, she's far more likely to say yes to that than, I want to do a photo shoot. Will you be my model? And she's like, well, what the fuck do I get out of that? So always be trying to give value and make sure the other person is having a good time and, you know, all that kind of stuff. You guys know all these things, but it's worth reminding you that you're far more likely to have girls say yes if they're getting something out of it. If you show them, like, if it's a value proposition, like, hey, you're going to have fun with this. I'm going to make sure you have fun. I'm going to make sure you feel sexy and pretty. You know, we'll do your makeup, wear some nice lingerie. We'll have fun with it. I'll come up with some cool ideas and we'll make you feel good. Like, rather than just, I want to do a photo shoot. Will you be in it? And she's like, well, I guess so. But like, fuck, why do I have to do this for you? So the same thing applies to, I don't think any of you are doing like a podcast or something, but you know, girls that we've asked to come on the podcast, that's the same thing I'll say to them. I'll say, like, you know, if they're on OnlyFans, I'll say, you can plug your OnlyFans. Do you want to come on our podcast? Or if it's just a random girl, to be like, would you like to share your story? And, you know, like, maybe you can help some other people. You know, I say that to all of my coaching clients that I get to come on here and do coaching interviews or testimonials. I say to them, like, man, I think you could really help a lot of people. Maybe it'd be fun for you to really, like, show yourself how money changes and how far you've come in the last 12 weeks if you can talk about it. You know, show people what they're getting out of it too and focus on them, and that's you giving value. So yeah. Final point to talk about. We kind of talked about this. Why we like doing photos and videos, you know, whether that's super artsy or whether that's like really, you know, sort of pornographic stuff. Why do we like doing it? I think because it makes you and the girls that we do it with, there's an element of like showing off. There's an element of like performing for the camera. It's almost like you get to be a star. You get that validation. You get to feel sexy. You're like the center of attention. And so you'll find girls will often be more, once they get over the nervousness, they will be more open, more sexual, more passionate, more dirty. Yeah. Like, it's fun.
Yeah, no, and speaking from personal experience, I like showing off, and it's a lot
Yeah.
of fun, and you don't play a character, but sometimes, especially when you're in front of the camera, you get to be like this elevated version of your sexual self.
It's you with 50% extra added on top.
Yeah, and that can be a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
it's also, as we've already said, like as the model, it's very validating to look back on a photo and be like, oh, I look good.
Yeah.
And I'm sure even for you as the photographer, it's like, that's a good photo. Like the lighting's really good, especially the more artistic stuff. It's like that just looks really fucking cool.
Yeah, yeah, and at the end of the day, that's sort of, the biggest part of this, like why you're doing this, is because you want a dope photo or an amazing video or a bunch of photos and videos, and you want her to feel good. You want to feel good about the videos that you made. You want to, sort of make her feel sexy. You want to make her look sexy. Maybe you're in the videos too. I'm in a lot of the videos that we shoot, like we shoot videos together and stuff. Like, I feel fucking good being on camera. Like, it feels cool. It's fun. And so focus on, how do we have fun? How do we make a good product, I guess you could say? Like, how do I have a good experience with her? And in terms of like how to make her feel good, it's just giving her a lot of praise, man. Like, it isn't a question that this guy asked, but it's worth us talking about. Like, a lot of the girls are going to feel very nervous, very scared. They're going to worry about doing a good job. And it's just about giving her a lot of praise. Like, even if she doesn't look good in the first couple of photos because she's so tense and awkward and like she can't pose and she's terrified and nervous and she's looking down at the ground because she can't make eye contact or whatever, just tell her like, yo, you look really fucking good. Like, you're so pretty. Like, damn, this is going to be so much fun. You look really good. And then just give her some tips. Like, hey, look more at the camera. Oh, man, that's fucking perfect. Oh, my God, you look so hot. Like,
I do actually remember, I'm not sure if you do, but we actually had a date. Oh, no, I think we actually slept with this girl as well, who said, we asked if she was into the idea of photos, and she actually said she was with a guy and they tried doing photos together, but he did the opposite of what you just suggested and kept giving her, like, I'm sure it was like constructive criticism, but I think for a boudoir shoot, that was a little bit hard to take, and I think she was a bit nervous.
A ton of like criticism.
Yeah.
At all.
And so she wasn't that keen on the idea of doing photos with us because she hadn't had the best time the first time she tried it.
Yeah, and so that's a great fucking point. So maybe your first photo shoot with a new girl, if she's nervous, don't even worry about the photos turning out well. Focus more on the experience. And you can even say to her, like, it doesn't matter if these photos are good or not. This is more about the experience. This is you learning to get comfortable in front of the camera. This is me learning how to photograph someone. This guy in particular sounds like he's already done it a little bit, but if you guys haven't done it and it's something you want to try, there's a process of you having to, there's a learning process, and you're going to have to give yourself permission to suck, because you probably are going to suck, and she's going to suck. And so it's worth telling her that, like, hey, you might be bad at this, like, you might suck, that's okay. Like, we don't have to use these photos. This is just a warm-up. This day one is the practice, and we can always get better at this and do better photos and improve, and it's just about having fun. And so if you phrase it like that, that can make her feel a lot less nervous. If you say, we'll just fuck around, we'll have a little bit of fun, it'll be fun. Like, we don't have to get amazing photos. We don't have to be super artsy and amazing and perfect. Like, we're just having fun.
Yeah, and I guess the last thing that I would like to add in terms of what I guess we enjoy about it is that, I mean, it's the reason why we take photos, is that you get memories out of it.
Yeah, that's it,
you get to look back on the photos and be like, oh, I remember shooting that. Wasn't that fun? We had such a good day that time. It was such a good time. I mean, that's why a lot of people take photos. Yes, it's artistic, but it's also to create or to take snapshots of memories. So
yeah, for sure. So focus on creating those good memories. If she's nervous or you're nervous, just tell her, like, hey, we don't have to be perfect today. It doesn't have to be, like, I don't have expectations, because a lot of girls will be nervous. I'm just going to say almost every single girl is nervous. Even the girls who do OnlyFans and shit, who have experience with this, for the most part, they're still slightly nervous. Because you're a stranger.
You're quite exposed in front of someone that you don't
vulnerable.
necessarily know that well.
Yeah, and so it's worth, mentioning that as well. Have a little bit of empathy as well. Like, have a little bit of understanding. She is being vulnerable for you. She's naked in front of you. And think about how you as the dude would feel if you were naked and you had to try and look good and someone was like clicking the fucking camera.
Yeah, and they're just standing there watching you. It's not like you're in the middle of sex and everyone's a little bit distracted because you're doing things and focusing on pleasure. It's like, no, you're literally just standing there and you're naked and someone's like looking at your body.
Yeah, so, you guys are very empathetic and kind anyway, but it's worth reminding yourself, because you might forget. You might be so focused on your own nervousness, and fair enough, or you might be so focused on the act of just taking the photos that you forget, like, oh man, she's probably really fucking vulnerable and nervous right now. So you know, that's why I said give her a ton of praise. Just like, don't stop with the praise. Whatever amount of praise you think is like a decent amount, double or triple that amount of praise. Like, I'm literally talking like just non-stop. Oh my God, you look so good. Holy fuck, you look really hot. Like, literally, you look amazing. Like, holy shit. No, like, genuinely, you look fucking good. Okay, try this position. And obviously, don't lie. Like, if there's a position where it doesn't look good, just say like, all right, we're done for that position. Try this position. Let's see if we can make you look even better. So like, make sure she looks good. Don't just praise her if there's an awkward position or something, or the lighting's off or something like that. But yeah, tons of praise. Be understanding of the fact that she's nervous. And, you know, you talked about during sex, you're often a lot more comfortable because you're both busy. You're kissing, you're having sex, you're feeling the pleasure.
It's obviously, generally speaking, not bright, well-lit environment.
Yeah, it's usually in the bedroom. It's a bit darker. And so you can bring a little bit of that relaxation or that passion, whatever you want to call it. What I mean by that is if you're in the middle of a photo shoot or even before the photo shoot and she's a bit nervous, kiss her, make out with her for a little bit, touch her pussy, play with her tits, make her feel good. Like, this is something that we do for the photo shoot. It's like, even when we're doing like artsy ones with girls that we've slept with, which again is the only shoots we do is with girls that we've slept with. I don't know how much you pay attention to this, but like in the middle of the shoot, I will like grab their tits sometimes, or I will like make out with them, or I will.
Yeah, it's
if
not
they're really
formal.
shy,
like we're starting the shoot now and ending the shoot now. It's a more fluid, just like let's kind of chill and hang out, and yeah.
And some of them are really nervous. Like the two OnlyFans girls that we did the foursome shoot with, one of them was like really fucking nervous. So I just gave her a cuddle a couple of times. Like in the middle of the shoot, I just give her a big cuddle and I was like, "You're doing a great job. Like, you look amazing." She's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, are you kidding me? You look great." And she's like, "Oh, I wasn't sure if I was." And I'm like, "No, you're doing fucking great. Like, this is you're hot as fuck." And so, I mean, hell, if you're really having fun with it and it's turning you on, which it will a lot of the time, you can literally pause and start having sex. And I'm advocating for that. Get your dick out and get her to fucking, you know, give you a little sucky, a little something.
If the model is someone that you've...
Yeah, obviously if it's a girl that you're sleeping with.
On.
Not just some, like, fucking model that you're doing...
Off Instagram who's like, yeah, I'll
you're
be
like,
your model.
I'm horny. Like, would you like to suck my dick? And she's like, this isn't fucking Bang Bus. This isn't, like... I don't know the names of any other, like, pornos where they do that. Okay. Casting couch or whatever, where they're just like, oh, look, it's my penis. Would you like it? Oh, shit. Oh, no, I have to suck it. Oh, my God. Okay. Like...
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. You can do that if you want to, but like,
don't be surprised
okay
if you
with
end
it
up
going,
in trouble.
Yeah, be okay with it going poorly. I'm not advocating for that. I wouldn't advocate you get your dick out. Think of it like this: would you get your dick out when you're in fucking Target, or I don't know, where do Americans shop? Walmart. Would you just get your penis out because you think that you're vibing with the fucking checkout chick? Like, probably not. So think of a photo shoot as the same thing. Like, it is a professional scenario, even if it's at your house or her house or whatever. And like, if getting your dick out would feel inappropriate at Walmart. To be fair, I'm going to get a comment saying like, bro, I get my dick out in Walmart all the time. Like, fucking... It's like, what did they used to say? Dicks out for Harambe.
Did they?
Yeah, you know the ape that they shot? Because he was like...
I knew a girl in school and she was really upset about Harambe memes because she thought it like...
disrespectful.
it minimized the...
That's why we got our dicks out in like solidarity. Get your dicks out for Harambe. So,
I wonder how she's doing.
Yeah, get your dicks out in Walmart. Get your dicks out. But you guys get the point. So if a girl is nervous... You know, give her a reassurance, have a bit of sex with her. You can even just, like, give her a kiss or a cuddle or something. Or, like, that's why I like to take a break. When you can tell she's really nervous, you sort of take a break and have sex for literally fucking 2 minutes. Or just finger her a little bit, or, you know, just play with her a little bit. Make out with her, suck on her titties, something like that. So that she feels like, oh, okay, this isn't a photo shoot. This is just sex like we normally have. And we just happen to be doing photos. And you'll often find, like, she's really nervous, really terrified. You just make out with her or have sex with her for 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden she's just back to normal. Like, she's fine. She's completely normal. She's like, oh, okay. Like, there's no pressure now. So that can really help. Bit of empathy, bit of understanding. At the end of the day, you're there to have fun. She's there to have fun. You're both on the same team, all that kind of stuff. It's not you getting photo shoots out of girls. It's you saying, hey, how can I find the girls who want to do photo shoots with me? And we both get to have this fun experience together. We get to build something together and have a bit of fun. Yeah. All right, guys, we will wrap up. Let's do a shout out. Okay, we won't shout out my coaching. Let's shout out the lovely little threesome guide that I wrote. So we actually wrote a threesome guide. If doing what we're doing is something that you want to do, you know, date some girls or have a threesome, whether you're in a relationship or you're single, you want to have a little threesome, I cannot link to it in YouTube, but if you go to my website, and you guys know my website, at the top I have a little button for the threesome guide. Go click on that. Go have a look. It's a solid fucking guide. You wrote half of it.
Or a good chunk of it, yeah, about how girls can find the girls to have threesomes with.
Yep. And so you would literally, so Imogen wrote it like a separate book, basically, and you give that book to any girls that you're sleeping with, and then they can go off and find girls for you. So it's like completely hands-free. You don't have to do anything. She can just go off and find girls for you. And yeah, go to my website, killyourinaloser.com, and check that out. We also went on the Playing with Fire podcast today, and that was a lot of fun. So if you guys aren't following Playing with Fire, go check him out. By the time this comes out, it might be old, so you might have to go back a little bit and check back. But yeah, you and I went on the podcast with him. His name is Alex, and his girl. It was a lot of fun, so go check that out. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
go out there and crush your goals.
Go out there and crush your goals.